So cool. So remember the joy of Jesus. Jesus is God. When he multiplied the bread, so we just saw bread and toast are pure fives. But how many loaves did Jesus multiply? 5. Okay, remember Jesus is the king of the universe. Jesus foreordains the boy who had the 5 loaves and the 2 fish, okay, for the feeding of the 5,000. That is the most famous, well-known story. He also feeds 4,000 another time. But 5 is the number of joy. And then look at the word loaves. The word loaves begins with joy, and flawlessly so, stunningly so, okay? L-O-A-V equals joy perfectly, okay? 50. So Jesus fed them 5 loaves. If you want to do the math on 5 loaves, that equals happy joy. And it was all about feeding people. Remember, feed, food, everything. It's just about everything related to food screams out 5s and joy. But I just want to take you deep here. So Jesus used 5 loaves of bread with his 5 fingers, holding them. Jesus had 5 loaves of bread to feed 5,000 people. Okay? 5 is the number of joy. Remember, Jesus parallels joy. J-U-S equals joy in Jesus. But it was all divine. The numbers are divine because 5 is the number of joy. Okay? And then you go deeper, like I just did. Okay? We solve bread and toast equals to us. When you raise your glass, you say to us. And that name of us belongs to God. It's the first title of God in Genesis 1:26. Let us make man in our image. But back to the loaves. So L-O-A-V. This is so perfect. This is so perfect it'll make you cry. The J parallels the V. Okay, offsets of 6s are king. It's all offsets of 3s, but offsets of even 3s, 6s are king. Okay, based on all my thousands of hours of study and prayer. So a J differs from a V by 12, double 6. A Y differs from an A by 24, quadruple 6. Okay, and then the O equals the O in joy, and then the L in loaves is the double 6 that provides the offset between what we just talked about. So the beginning of the word loaves, as in loaves of bread. Now I just completed the puzzle perfectly. Loaves of what? Loaves of bread. Now with the word of hooking up to the ES on the end of loaves, okay, you now have perfectly and glaringly 24 plus 21 equals 45, a multiple of 5. What's extra glaring about that is you have the E, which is 5, at the end of loaves. You have the O, which is 15, at the front of, and then the S and the F are a famous combination that makes 25. Perfect. And then bread divides by 5. So loaves, feel it on your lips, the joy now. Loaves of bread. Okay? And and the whole thing starts with FI 15. But when you say 5 loaves of bread, but loaves of bread goes 50, 45, 30. Okay? Which adds perfectly, by my calculations, to 125, which is 5 times 5 times 5. So now you understand the sovereignty of Jesus, who is God. Back then, okay, he foreordained the child that had 5 loaves of bread with him. Okay, Jesus knew he was going to feed 5,000 men exactly, using his 5 fingers, and they were all going to eat with their 5 fingers, which he created. He also knew that more than 2,000 years from now, he would ordain me to be preaching on the Gematria of the English language, which he is sovereign over the perfect ordering of the letters, and I would be preaching on the number 5 in loaves of bread. That's God, whose name is Jesus, the second member of the Trinity. He's in control from beginning to end, okay? And it's all for Father, Son, and Holy Ghost, maximum glory and pleasure. They are the perfectionist of perfectionists, and that's why numbers are king. So there you go. There you go. 5 is the number of joy. And you need to imagine the joy that those people that got fed the loaves must have felt, because it was a miracle. Bread came out of nowhere. It was a supernatural act of God. And that is what the human soul wants the most. We want to see God. We want to see the works of God. Okay, they'd eaten bread their whole lives, but not once, perhaps, had they ever eaten bread created supernaturally out of nowhere. And mark my words, just like the wine that Jesus created out of water in his first miracle, that bread that they all ate was the sweetest, tastiest bread they have ever tasted in their lifetime. It was literally created by God, fresh out of thin air. It was probably even warm. It was probably, whatever it was perfect for the day, the temperature, their taste buds. They were just like, this is the best bread I've ever tasted. And that's why the joy was maximum. Why did those people get rewarded for doing what they did? Many of those people would have left their jobs to go into the wilderness to go and listen to Jesus. They valued him so highly. They esteemed him as God, and they were rewarded by this tremendous miracle from him. They were so far from businesses that there was no food, okay? And that's where God provided, okay? But I wanted to preach on the joy of that. So 5 loaves held in the 5-fingered hands of Jesus fed 5,000 people. 5 is the number of joy. I took you deep on the letters of loaves of bread, and it was awesome, okay?